Well, hello YouTubers, rockhounds, lapidary lovers. Mike here. Welcome back to my channel. It's time for more cutting into cool rocks from the West. My wife and I just got back from Wyoming, and we did a lot of rock hounding while we were out there. My goodness, did we pick up a lot of rocks, and we mailed them back to ourselves. The post office made a lot of money off of us, but fortunately, it doesn't matter how heavy the box is. It's the same amount of money to ship it. So, we got some interesting rocks we found out there. I found some more nice samples of banded iron. Doesn't look like much right now, but I'll bet once I've sliced off a side of it and semi-polished it, I'll bet that will be really pretty. The wife, she's got quite the eye for finding agates. She really does. I think she found a couple of nice lysite agates here, but there's so much crud on top of them that it's hard to see. In fact, my stepson, who has a geology degree, doesn't actually think they're agates, but I'm pretty sure he's wrong. So I'm going to take a slice off of these and see if we can expose the agate underneath. And I got a rock here. Ooh, a big heavy one. I have no idea what this is. And the colors are kind of muted under my lab lights, but out in the sun, this has a lot of colors in it. So I'm going to take a few slices off of this and just see what it looks like on the inside. See if it's as colorful on the inside as it is on the outside. See if I can figure out what it is. It is really heavy. I don't know. It might be some kind of Jasper. I don't know. And I'm pretty sure this is banded iron. Again, I'm going to have to cut into it to be sure. And just got all kinds of pretty rocks. Got a big bag of rocks here. Some of them I'm going to want to slice up. I brought a whole bunch of rocks back to tumble too, so we'll take a look at those, and we'll get the Lortone saw limbered up, and we'll start making some cuts. So here's my box of rocks for tumbling. There's some really interesting stuff in here. I'm not sure what some of it is, but some of it's really pretty. It's got a nice band of something through it. There's a couple of them in here that have bands of something through them. That one. There's some bits of banded iron in here. I'm not sure what this is. This looks for all the world like it's some kind of agate. It looks for all the world like some sort of wad of orange bubble gum. What I might do is break this up into smaller pieces and tumble them. Here's some agate. This will look really pretty once it's tumbled. And just various odds and ends. So my tumbler's going to be busy for the next few months for sure. In fact, I might build a bigger one. I'm scheming on how I can build myself a bigger tumbler. Okay? But I think first we need to have a look at what's going on with these rocks. This one, well, this one's definitely an agate. I can see that right there. I can see the banding. So I'm going to take a slice off of there and see what we can expose underneath. This one, this one's an agate too. I'm pretty sure these are both lysite agates, in spite of my stepson's objection. So we're going to cut these and see if we can expose the beautiful agate-y interior on these two rocks. And then maybe we'll do a little bit of this banded iron I've got over here and in this big mystery boulder and see what's inside. Okay, let me get the saw uncovered and plugged in and we'll start cutting. Alright, I've got the first piece of what I'm sure is agate mounted in our Lortone lapidary saw, our ancient beat-up Lortone lapidary saw that I have rebuilt in various ways. In previous videos I've explained how it works, what it does, and I've also added an automatic shut-off feature to it, which it probably had when it was new, but it was probably new 50 years ago, and that feature got lost at some point. So basically, we've got a vise here that holds the rock. It can move in and out so you can adjust your depth of cut. We got a great big diamond blade here that's going to turn insanely fast. And this carriage is going to move the rock into the diamond blade. The blade is sitting in a pool of mineral oil, and as it spins, it's going to fling oil up, and that's going to cool and lubricate the blade as it cuts through the rock. And it's going to cut through this rock in about, 15-20 minutes. And we'll get a nice look at what's inside. I've got it set for about a 1/4 inch cut. Going to take off the side of that rock right there, and we'll get a look at what's on the inside. So let me get the lid closed. and we'll start the cut, and we'll see what we got. Alright, back when it's done. Alright, the cut's done, and well, it crumbled. The piece I was trying to take off crumbled, but we'll see what the rock itself looks like. And well, let me see if I can get a close-up of that with my phone. Well, there's not as much agate in there as I was hoping, but there's some. And I'll tell you what, this one piece right here, this is nice. Let me pull this out. We'll look at it up on the bench. Alright, well yeah, there's not as much agate there as I was hoping. I mean, there's a little band of it right there. But this piece that came off, this has got the most of it apparently. I mean, we got some really prominent agate right there. See if I can zoom in anymore. Really prominent right there. And a little bit there. Now, let me see if there's anything else in this rock. It looks like there's bands of stuff on this side. Maybe I need to take a slice through here and see what it looks like. I'll take one more cut on it, but I think the wife definitely found some agate in spite of Joe's protestations to the negative. So let me take another slice through here and see what I can expose. I'm just hoping it doesn't crumble again. Maybe I'll take a thicker slice than I want. Maybe I'll just cut this thing right down the middle and leave it as thick as I can. That way hopefully it won't crumble. I think I'll do that. Alright, I'm set up to take about the thickest cut on this I can. So we'll see what we got. Hopefully the two pieces don't crumble. And we expose something nice on the inside. Okay, away we go. Okay, let's have a look. Cut's done. Ooh, oil mist. Uh-oh, it crumbled again. It crumbled again. I was worried that it might do that. Well, no real agate on these pieces. Let's see here. Let me pull it out and look at it on the bench, because I don't think I can get another cut out of it. So I got to pull it out anyway. So we'll look at it on the bench. Well, there's no denying it's a pretty rock, but really no more agate inside than we've already seen along this edge right here and in this piece right here. So there's undeniably, my wife found some agate, okay? She's got the eye for it. She'll find stuff I walk right by. So, but it's just not very big. Not very much agate. So we'll move our attention to this other stone over here and see what's inside it. Let me get it mounted. I think I'm going to cut it down this way and see what all these bands in here add up to. So here's another of my wife's maybe agates mounted in the saw. I'm going to cut through it like that, and we'll see what's inside. Hopefully it won't fall to pieces, although I do see some fissures in it, so it might crumble too. Rocks are a little crumbly, but let's give it a shot. We'll cut it, see what happens. Find out what's inside. Okay, cut's done. Let's see what we got. Well, it didn't fall apart. That's a plus. Huh. That's interesting in there, but I don't know if that's really agate. Interesting. Huh. Let me pull the two pieces out. We'll look at them up on the bench under good light. So here's what we got. It's different. Very lacy on the inside. Very lacy. This technically that could be agate. It's very different. Let me get some close-up shots with my phone. Then I'll take them in and see what my wife wants to do with them. Well, that was certainly an interesting rock. The wife's in there looking at it. I'll go look through her other maybe agate rocks and see if there's anything else I want to cut into. But in the meantime, I'm gonna slice this big piece of banded iron I found. This was the first big piece of banded iron I found on that last rock hunting or rock hounding trip. And I'll put a link in the upper right to that video if it's not already there. I may have put one up earlier. So cut this. I'm thinking I'm just going to slice thinly across the side here and expose what's on the inside. I might do both sides just to expose this banding. So let me get this in the saw and get it cut. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm not trying to cut a slab off of this. I just want to take a thin slice off the edge, clean up the edge, and expose what's inside. Then maybe I'll flip it around and do the same thing to the other side if it looks good. So let's get her cut, because this is a long rock. This is going to take a while. Get her going. Contact. Well, let's have a look. Oh yeah, whenever I cut banded iron, it looks like there's been a massacre going on in there. Just all that red iron. But look, I did manage to get a little slab. Wow, look at the colors in that. Wow. Let's see what the main piece looks like. Oh, that is nice. I'll get you a close-up look at that. That is beautiful. Oh, will you just look at that? Wow. Wow. That's even more amazing than I thought it would be. I'm going to flip it around and cut the other side. Just skim it and clean it up and see what it looks like. Wow, look at the colors. Oh, wow. Okay, I've flipped it 180 degrees around. I got a little wood wedge in there to hold everything in place, and I'm just going to do a skim cut across this other face, and we'll see how it comes out. Actually, yeah, like about there. All right, well, let's cut it. See what we get. Well, cut's done. Let's have a look. Use the blood red oil. What we got? Oh yeah, another nice slice there. Pull this back. Oh yeah. I'll take this out. Put it up on the bench. We'll take a close-up look at it. It's beautiful. Okay, here it is. Look at the colors in that. The yellows, reds, greens, blacks. Wow, here's the other side. Yeah, colors are a little more vivid on this side. That's nice. I don't know why I like banded iron so much, but I really do. I think it's just beautiful. Especially pieces like this. That's amazing. Amazing. I love it. I think I'm going to leave this alone for now. I don't think I'm going to take any more cuts on it for now. I think I'm just going to leave it and try to decide what to do with it. Oh, let me get the piece that was in the slab that was cut off here in the saw. Ooh, it's all gunky. Degunkify it a little bit. Yeah, there's the piece that came off. It's the first piece that came off. Well, that's the second piece that came off. There's the first piece that came off. So, nice. Very nice looking stuff. Okay, I don't think I'm going to do anything else with it for right now. I think I'm just going to set it aside. Some of the rocks I cut into are just so beautiful. I think they need to go to artists to be worked on. So I'm just going to set that aside. So what are we going to do next? Well, I'm going to have to zoom out so you can see all of this one. This boulder here. I've been wondering, since I picked this up out in Wyoming, just what the heck it is. Got all kinds of colors in it. I don't think it's banded iron. I don't know exactly what it is. This colors may just be on the outside. They may not be on the inside. It's pretty big. Let me see if I can clamp this in the saw and take a cut on it and see what's inside. So let me get work on that. Okay, I managed to get the big boulder clamped in. I'm just going to cut this knob off of here, and we'll see if that gives me any kind of insight to what it looks like on the inside. I might have to rotate it and cut it on some other sides just to get a good look at the inside, but we'll start just by cutting this knob off. See what kind of insight that gives me. Well, let's have a look, see what we got. Interesting. Ooh. Very interesting. Very interesting. I don't know if that's showing up. Let's see what the rock itself looks like. Wow. Okay. I guess it is kind of like banded iron, but the banding it is kind of odd. I'll give you a close-up of what this face looks like. Well, that is interesting. That is very interesting. Huh. I still don't know what I'm looking at. Maybe I don't think it is banded iron, although I think whatever this thing is was fractured, and the fractures were filled with iron compounds. But yeah, that's interesting. You know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to take a slab off of it and see what that looks like. See if I can cut a 1/4-inch slab off of it without it falling apart. We'll see. So here's the two pieces I've cut off so far. They're really not showing up too well. The lighting out here is harsh. The subtle colors and banding in them really isn't showing up all that well. This is very interesting rock. Maybe not as pretty as I'd hoped, but very interesting nonetheless. I mean, was it worth carrying this big boulder all the way back to the truck in Wyoming and then sending it clear across the country? I don't know, but it's a very interesting piece of rock. Let me give you a look at the cut face in the saw. So yeah, there's a lot of subtle color and banding in there. Very interesting. I wonder what it'll look like if I turn it and cut it on a different axis. I don't know. Maybe I'll try that once. I don't know how much more time I want to put into this rock today. Maybe I'll turn it and cut it one time and see what it looks like. Oh, and by the way, here is what the thing looks like now that it's all wet with oil. This is why I picked it up. All these colors in it. This is why I picked it up off the ground and brought it back. I was hoping these colors extended inside, and they do to some extent. So I'll just turn it 90 degrees and cut it again, and we'll see what it looks like. Well, now, this is a little more interesting. Look at the colors in there. Wow. That's something else. Yellows, oranges, reds. Let me give you a look at the face of the rock. Now that is very interesting. Very interesting indeed. I might have to take some more slices off of that, but I think I'll do that another day. Because I've got more rocks. I want to see what's on the inside of them. Now I see the inside of this one's really nice. All I had to do is turn it 90 degrees. Very cool. Alright, let me get this out of the saw and we'll try something else. So I've been taking a close-up look at this stuff. And I'm thinking it might be quartzite that was fractured, and the fractures were filled in with iron compounds. That's what I'm thinking. It's very hard rock, and there's like some semi-translucent crystals all through here. Big ones. Big ones. It looks like quartzite to me. So I bet that's what this is. I'll bet this is quartzite that was fractured and had all the fractures filled in with iron. That's my best guess anyway. I'll run it past my geologist stepson, but you know, he was wrong about my wife finding agates, so I got to take all his opinions with a grain of salt. Whatever it is, it's a very pretty rock. Anyway, speaking of my wife's agates, I've got another one of her maybe agates in the saw here. And again, I'm just going to clean up this face of it because it looks kind of agate-y over here. So the rest of it I can't really tell, but that face looks like there's a little bit of agate showing, so I'm just going to clean up that face and we'll see what we get. Hopefully it won't all fall to pieces. So let me give it a cut and see what we get. Well, this is all fractured coming off, but I was kind of expecting that. Let's see what the face of the rock looks like. I'm going to have to pull it out to get a good look at it. So let me do that and we'll look at it up on the bench. Well, alright. We got some crystal-filled vugs here surrounded by agate-y looking material. I would say the wife did good. I think she found a few agates. Yes, indeed. So, I don't know, I'm a little reluctant to try and take another cut off of here because this thing is so fractured, I think it'll fall apart. What I might do is just cut across here and cut off this thin area and see if there's anything else interesting in it. But I don't know. I'll ask my wife first. I don't want to totally destroy her rock. It might just all fall apart. So we'll see. But I think, yeah, she's found a couple of interesting agates. So good job, Leslie. So I think I got time for one more rock today, and I got another what the heck is it rock. Let me wet it down here. And you can start to see the colors in it. I kind of suspect it might be banded iron, or it might be another big quartzite nodule with lots of iron staining. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell what we got here. So the easiest way to tell is to stick it in the saw and take a cut across one face. This face needs to be the most colorful face, so I'm going to try and get it in the saw and take a cut across here. Oh, so I'm not sure it wants to sit in the saw that way. I'll find a way. I might have to put some wedges on it. Cut across here because this face is almost straight as it is. And you know what? I could just cut across here and flatten out the bottom, then it'll make it easier to cut across there. I'll cut across here first. That'll give me a quick look inside. Then I'll be able to stand it up easier and cut across that face. So that's what I'll do. I'll cut across here first. Okay, I got that big, what is it, rock in the saw. I'll just cut off this irregular knob on the one side, then that can become the bottom. It'll be flat. And I can flip it over and cut the side I really want to cut. But we'll get a sneak peek of what's inside when I cut this. So let me commence the cutting. Actually, move it a little closer to the blade so it doesn't take so long to cut. There we go. Okay, and we're off. Okay, so here's what I cut off of it. It fractured at the end. But look at that. Looks like it is solid iron in there. Yellows, oranges, reds. This could be Jasper. This could be banded iron. I could be cutting parallel to the bands. What I need to do is definitely I need to flip it and cut it on a different face and see if I can cut across the bands. This could just be a solid lump of Jasper, or it could be banded iron that I'm cutting along the bands. So let me flip that piece and cut it again. Now it's got one flat side, so I can do that. So I'll give it another cut and we'll have a look. Okay, it's going to be cut at 90 degrees. We're going to take the knob off this side and we'll see what it looks like inside. If I was cutting parallel to the bands before, I should be cutting at 90 degrees to them this time. So we'll see what it looks like. Hopefully it'll be good. We'll find out. Alright, so here's the part I just cut off. And it's really not that much different from this piece over here, the first one I cut off. So I'm thinking I might just have a big lump of Jasper here, multicolored Jasper, rather than a piece of banded iron. Let me show you the cut face of the piece in the saw.
So yeah, this really isn't looking like banded iron. It's just looking like multicolored Jasper, which is cool too. That's very cool. I'm liking that. I might want to try and get some slabs off of that later. But I think this is about all I have time for today.
Well, that was an interesting afternoon with the saw. I thoroughly enjoyed finding out what was inside all these rocks. I hope you did too. My wife's agates are in the house. But here's some of the other rocks I cut. This beautiful piece of banded iron here. This, I assume, quartzite with irons staining in it. This big lump of multicolored Jasper here. This is beautiful. Both of these rocks, well, all three of them are really, really beautiful. I'm really glad I decided to pick them all up when I was out in Wyoming and go to the trouble of carrying these heavy rocks back to the truck and then mailing them to myself across the country so I could cut them up here in Florida. That's a lot of fun. A couple of these rocks are so pretty that I think, you know, they're basically artworks, and they should be handled by artists who could turn them into really beautiful things, probably more so than I can. And hey, I'm just getting started. I got a whole bunch of other rocks over here. I got some interesting stuff over here. Maybe for a future video, we'll see. I mean, I got a rock here that's clearly banded iron on one side, but I don't know, maybe multicolored Jasper on this side. I got a whole box or a bag full of rocks over here. I got more rocks up here in this box. So I got more rocks than I know what to do with. But thanks for watching me cut up these rocks. Subscribe to see my future videos. There'll be more stuff on lapidary. There'll be more stuff on gold recovery. I got some stuff coming up where I picked up some ore while we were out west too. We're going to crush it up, pan it out, and see if there's any gold or other precious metals in it. So watch for those. Subscribe to see my future videos. Press the little bell icon YouTube wants you to press. You'll be notified when my new videos come out. As a subscriber, you'll be notified when I release a new video if you press that icon. Check out my second channel, Electric Geek 64. There's always good stuff going on there. And thanks again for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.